It's important to remember that this is a course in the redirection of your perceptual associations. The first requirement would be to release yourself from the bondage of the previous self-identity that has brought and turn it on, so that the miracle can happen. This is a Course in Miracles from a whole mind consciousness out of time, eternity, directed specifically to you to bring about the miracle reassociation of your attack and defense modality. By that manner, awaken you from the apparent separation from wholeness and love that is the certainty of your constituted reality. It is a required course, and I mean it in a literal sense, not in a figurative, possibility, perceptual sense. Obviously, if you are in sickness, pain, and death, and you have established that as a manner in which you consider yourself to be an association that is life, you're going to have to undergo a reassociation or a discovery of your own reality. And that's the miracle. The purpose of this gathering is to present to you the Course in Miracles from the perspective of the certainty that God is, and this isn't, in any manner. The problem that you have had with the Course in Miracles heretofore has been indications that somehow the manner in which you have transcribed yourself, that is, in a perceptual relationship or a concept of self-association or ideas, can lead you to a miracle experience, and it can't. The Course in Miracles is a course in the relinquishment or the loss of your perceptual associations, much as the Eastern tradition of detachment from yourself. It's an imperative if you will look at your associations with yourself as being figures of projected illusion within a time framework. Everything I'm going to say to you is in the text of the Course in Miracles or in the workbook. I will say nothing but that. I will direct you to nothing but that. If the vernacular appears to be subtly different, tolerate that, please. Because it's important at this point to subtract you from your previous perceptual concepts, first of all, of what A Course in Miracles is. A Course in Miracles is a course in enlightenment, or your awakening from your own concepts, your own associations. Okay? That's the requirement. The technique of doing that is to give you a provision of reassociation that is beyond your perceptual association, literally a miracle, a happening that transcends your previous identity with yourself. Until that occurs, how would it be A Course in Miracles? If you are the miracle, and you are the miracle. Okay? You're not making miracles. You're not comparing yourself in your own ideas about yourself. You are a miracle. You are God creating. I can't show you what love is because that's what you are. I can show you what the obstacle of it is, and that's you in your perceptual association. How simple then is salvation? But how difficult? Since the constitution of your makeup depends on your identity in your previous form associations. As you're sitting here, as you are. And you are in a position of defense of your mind as constituted in what you term objective reality. Okay, this is a message to you that this is not real. And the easiest way to look at it is to look with certainty that objective reality is not true. There are not separate source emanations. God mind, universal mind is singular, and you must be that. Now, if you'll start with that premise, it'll help you a whole lot. Because obviously you are in a dualistic association with what constitutes your reality and are holding yourself in the bondage of your own self-identity. Everything that I'm going to say to you tonight will now appear very reasonable to you because it is reasonable. If the conflict is only in your mind, the solution is don't defend yourself or forgive your associations with your previously constructed images. Are we all okay so far, miracle workers? Is this what we do? We're going to forgive them. Okay, now at the time that it's necessary to forgive, you have obviously taken on the bondage of self-identity, rejected it or cast it out from yourself, all right? And literally believe that someone is doing something to you outside of your control or that is not under your direction. This is not true if you're going to teach A Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles is a course in absolute, positive, unequivocal, subjective reality. There's a lovely sentence in the Course where Jesus says the preoccupation of conceptual mind, of self-identity of the earth, is the problem that you're experiencing here. We're not interested in it. This is the key to you advanced teachers. You listen to this. We have no concern about what your concepts are. It makes absolutely no difference what your concepts are if none of them are true. And this is the core of the curriculum. There's no sense in comparing with me one association with the other. Neither are so. And this is somewhere in the text. The next sentence reads, perhaps, what we are interested in is that you can think, that the mind thinks and can then choose and make decisions based on its frame of reference. Here's the problem. If your frame of reference is constituted by past associations, you will rely on them and must rely on them to direct you into the situation, the correlation of the situation in which you find yourself. And you do that. Okay, this is the time when Jesus begins to use the word insanity or insane. Obviously, the most you can, I'll give you the sentences. There's no such thing as a past. Okay. No matter how tempted you are to believe that time, as you have invented it in your mind, is sequential, it is not. And this can be a real big step for you. Why? When you come in here and sit down, you'll be more willing to release yourself in your association from the previous constitution that's brought you here. Okay? These are the first 15 lessons of the workbook of the Course in Miracles. Lesson number 1. Nothing in this room, in this world, in this place ever mean anything or ever will, or ever did. No. You have a fear of releasing your sequential mind. Because if you did, you would wake up in heaven. Can you see? Okay. Remember that the distance between the conceptual thoughts that you are having is what space-time is. All right? But the most you can say about a thought that you have or are having now is that what? It's gone. Once more. The most you can say about any thought that you are having, a past thought that you have had, is what? That it's gone. Okay, here's the key. Yet your perceptual mind is holding it in the tolerance of your own genetic association and presenting yourself objectively in time in association with your own projected thoughts. Lesson number 2. No matter how tempted you are to believe it, there is no communication going on here at all. None. None. Okay, I'll give you this sentence. Communication to be real must be whole. Partial communication is no communication. You have struggled in your own perceptions to communicate with each other based on a previous frame of reference. It would literally be impossible for you to know everything about that association, yet you demand the attention and attempt to justify yourself in the association with the condition in which you find yourself. That's crazy. The problem is not solvable. Why? Because the relationship is based on duality, or the idea that somehow you are separate from each other. And all you really end up doing is correlating previous thought associations in group context and maintain a distance between yourself in association with what you think the other projection is. Can you see that? At no single moment is the body real at all. All you did was bring it in your own past associations and projected from it other past associations that are always gone. You're always gone. You're gone. You're gone. Listen, this old world was over a long time ago. You're gone. You're going to struggle with that, and you say, no, I can remember last week. Well, last week is gone, isn't it? Yeah, but I'm going to stir it up and bring it back into my memory and hold it now, all right, based on the previous associations, and project that association into the future, and what? What's going to happen to you? You'll get old and die. You can't get old and you can't die. It's impossible. There isn't any such thing as death. If there's no such thing as the body, how would there be such a thing as death? There's no such thing as a body. The skeleton frame that you identify as a body is less than 100 days old. All of it. There's not a cell in you. There's not an atom in you that was there a year ago. 98% new. I mean, literally new. Okay. Look what you're doing with your mind. You're holding yourself in a static relationship with previous thought forms, constituting yourself in a form of reality, so that as you produce new cells, you can command them from your own genetic association to be sick. Otherwise, how the hell would you have cancer? You can't have cancer if you're producing new cells unless you're producing cancerous cells. Why do you want to do that? The whole premise is that if there is a single universal consciousness, right, every single cell is all universal consciousness. Do we have some sort of an agreement on that? Sort of a quantum leap there. Okay? That it's all finally all the same stuff, which is God. You know, which is God extending or creating whole, and that's what you are. Remember this. Every time you glitch creation, okay, you form a static relationship in your own memory. This is called the schism. This is what happened. This is called what you would call in Newtonian physics a particle. Quantum physics will lead you directly to Jesus in the Course in Miracles. All right? In quantum or quanta, which is a relationship of a particle and a wave. All right? One of the great original physicists, Niels Bohr, made a great discovery that it was a wave until you looked at it or began the experiment, and then it became a particle. That it was impossible that the experimenters did not influence the experiment. A lot of you are familiar with this. So he saw very clearly that it was a wave until what? Until you tried to observe it, and then it became a particle. At that point, he says, why don't you just stop observing it? That was not acceptable to the physicists, obviously. That's a great mind. He could see immediately that it was the self-observation that was causing the particle, or the lumpiness in what? In the wave. Okay? That's A Course in Miracles. Okay? You are in a condition of lumpy thinking, or projecting from you a particle through the identification of your own particleness. Okay? But at any moment you can be a complete wave by what? not interacting with your own lumpy associations. That is, not demanding a reflection back in a material sense from what you have projected from your own mind. Key to this. Key. An idea never leaves its source. Whatever you are, can you hear this, is all there is. Whatever you are is all there is. There is not another thinking going on outside of you. Okay, I'll give you the sentences from the Course if you'd like. You are the only living Son of God. God only has one Son, and that's you creating fully with your divine mind. You cannot not be that. There appears to be conflict here. Now, here's the direction we must take, and this is fundamental psychological basic teaching. You're the cause of your own pain. That's the first determination, okay? The whole teaching of the Course in Miracles is that you are the cause of this. You are doing this but yourself. No matter how tempted you are to believe that there is an objective reality out there that you are discovering, you are wrong. Do you understand that? I know you're tempted to do it, and you'll cast around in these foot minds, determined that you're going to grab all of these things and fit them together in some sort of a computer of knowledge. It's crap. It's nothing but your own projected mind in your own thought form. Key. There's no communication going on at all. If you think there is, you're wrong. You might just as well look at it. Okay. The reason that wholeness knows not of this is simply because it is whole. Obviously, God doesn't know anything about conflict, sickness, and death. Now, if you believe that the Master Divine Creator knows of conflict, sickness, and death, there's no sense in you sitting here. Because you're determined that somehow He is the cause of your problems, and that's been your problem. But most of you are past that, I think. But you do need somebody to blame. Somebody's got to be responsible for this place. Of course, you really think that when you came here, that the world was waiting for you to act with it, okay, and to interact. Wrong. You brought this world with you when you came. Salvation. Change your mind. Is it within your power, okay, to, I'll use the term, miscreate in associations with yourself in your own self-identity? That's what you're doing. Are you capable of experiencing a miracle? Pertinent. See, if I can get you to begin to have experiences, my problems are over. Your problem is you resist the experience. We'll get into this tomorrow. I'll demonstrate to you what you need, what miracles are. Miracles are nothing but the reassociation of your own thought form in regard to what you think you are. You can use any and all means or devices, but I would suggest that you begin to stop trying to exchange with the apparent reality that's outside of you. It's obviously not going to do you any good because you've constituted directly to share and relieve you of the responsibility of the condition in which you find yourself. And it can only respond to you in the manner in which you wish to have the response. Is there a question on that? Somewhere you may want to question that. You try to get away with the idea that you're not responsible for it, but that's impossible. Okay? I know that's tough. It's difficult for you to believe that you have chosen death, but you wouldn't be here if you hadn't.